School is not the problem, it's your parents. I kept blaming school, getting mad at it for not being in the form I wanted it to be. But school is not meant for what I want. And what I want I can do without school. The problem is it's not accepted. This is school. And this is you or me. School, box, you, circle. You get mad at school for not being a circle. Since you can't change school and you don't see another option, you can't fit into this box. You change yourself trying to fit in. So maybe you'll fold a corner. And maybe, as time goes on, you'll lose your morals, lose certain parts, certain aspects of you, certain quirks. And maybe then you'll be a square. And maybe then you can fit in. You can fit in. But the thing is, you lose some parts of you that make you you. These parts that you folded, that you got rid of. But you don't feel full when you fit in. There's something missing, and even worse, you're an ambitious person who's still trying to do their goals while also trying to fit in. You feel like a failure in both regards because you can't compete with the square, aka school, or someone who is more inclined for school. And you're not in the right place to be a circle. It's so funny because people want to compare, thinking they're winning with some imaginary game against everyone else. Joining useless clubs, getting on e-board positions as treasurer or chief communication officer. They want to be congratulated for achieving something that is going to fade after the last 4 years of college. Or after the 4 years of college life. Sure, some skills were gained, but I'm tired of chasing positions that will fade. I want to create something that stays the test of time, that lasts. And to do that, it takes more time to build a foundation. It's easy to hop from building to building, apartment to apartment, but to build a house, it takes time. I want to create something bigger than myself. So when my square friends, not bad, good at school, ambitious at school, all of this stuff, ask me why I'm not doing clubs, I say it's not my thing. They think that I'm losing and that they are helping me. But in reality, it's not helpful. It's just an attempt to make me feel bad for staying on my path, for being a circle. Recently, I've been really interested in going abroad for a summer or semester. I want to be in a place where nobody knows me so I can work on my social skills and learn a different culture. I feel like I've been confined in the US all my life, where there's a whole world out there that I want to explore. I want to learn who I am as a person. I feel like I've kind of locked into this personality that's part me and part not me because I was trying to be a square. So I say let school be what it is, a place to learn how to learn, a place to be exposed to various tracks of life. What we forget is that school is not the end, it's the beginning. What I feel parents, society, and even students struggle to do is let themselves be themselves. There seems to be a pressure to be an Ivy League student, and anything other than that is a failure. We need to expand our minds to the idea that there are millions of forms of success, and that is just one of them, not the only one. I just kept seeing this common trend of hating on school. And even though I was privy to being on that wave as well, something didn't sit right with me about the message. As someone who is good at both school, enjoys school at moments, but also gets frustrated with it, angry at it sometimes, about the work I have to do for it, that I feel sometimes can be useless, I want to take a more nuanced approach at the viewpoint of school. I think school is great for people who do not know what they want to do, but are willing to dive in and try a bunch of different things, and hopefully at some point along the way, find something that they enjoy doing, that they can build a skill around to get a job. I think school is great for connections, which mainly contributes to my reason for being school. I think school is great for certain experiences that you've never had before. I think school is great for having a community of people your age to be around. But I also think school can take away pieces of you that are what makes you you, to try to fit in. I think the pressure to fit in, the pressure to have common interests with people can take away what can make you you and what can make you special. Last night I stayed out. Went out with my friends. They even congratulated me for staying out late. They're like, Jason, I think it's the latest you've stayed up in the past 3 months. Good job. I also got a position next year that I think I was supposed to be more excited about than I am. And I got congratulated for it over and over. Good job, Jason. Congratulations. All of this stuff. And for a minute, I was excited. For a minute, I was happy. But then it faded. And the congratulations didn't bring up back that feeling, which it usually does when you win something like that. I don't know if that's a sign of me getting older, or if it's a sign that maybe it's not something I really wanted as much. I'm starting to realize maybe what some people find as winning, I find as diverting on my path. And I'm having a hard time reconciling with that, because I like hanging out with my friends, and I want to. And at sometimes, when I stop for periods, part of me wants to go back and to go hang out with them. Wants to go to the game room, screw my schedule, and just have a good time. And that's the same me that's now, with a little bit more clarity, at 2:38 a.m. That's when I wrote this. He's going to wake up tomorrow, which is today, probably feeling like shit. Wishing he had just stuck to the plan instead of giving into the temporary feeling. Wanting to go hang out and be part of something. And I think that's roots to the feeling of me being afraid. Afraid to be alone. And so I'll cling on to whatever is around me. Not necessarily bad people, but I'll cling on to people that don't align with my goals as much. And I don't know what to do. And that's when I realized this pattern. I'm congratulated for staying late, shunned for going to bed early, celebrated for hanging out with my friends, attacked for working on my goals alone. Tell me, does that make sense? Is it jealousy, confusion, fear? What is it? I know what I need. I need more courage and indignation in myself. I'm working on it, developing it. Those late nights will become fewer, my goals closer, my friends farther than ever. Is it worth it? I don't know. But I know I'll be mad if I don't find out. Going out has never been worth it. Of course I'm going to have an okay time. Because it's me. I'll figure it out. I'll have a good time. But guess what? You will have a great time if instead you do you. I know at some point down the line I'll want to give in like I did tonight. I'll want to hang out with them, want to go out, want to be a part of the group again. And then I'll be sitting here again at 2 a.m. wishing I had wondered what would have happened if I just stayed in. So I don't know the answer. I wish there was an answer. I wish there was a way where I could find some peace in the decision and stick with it and not be filled with regret from both outcomes. You know you've won when you've crossed the finish line, achieved that benchmark, and you have the feeling of all the pain of that work, all those hours, all the people that said you couldn't do it, the haters, times when you doubted yourself, but kept working out anyways, kept pushing through, all the injuries, financial downpours, potential loss of relationships, all sacrificed for one goal. You know you've won when you've had that feeling, true enlightenment, true enjoyment, as if your body aligned at once, maybe just for a split second or a minute. You're at peace. I think this is what we're constantly trying to chase, some form of peace. Some chase it in parties, thinking maybe if I get drunk enough, maybe if I get buzzed enough, high enough, maybe if I listen to loud enough music and I'm with a bunch of people, I can just get lost in the crowd and dance and feel free. Feel this peace. But I don't think that's true peace. I think that's an escape. And I think to achieve true peace, you have to be chasing something for a long time that's really fucking hard. And maybe for a moment, once you achieve that, you'll have this pocket of peace that in times when you're not feeling as well, you can go back down to and get grounded by. You know what I think the real currency of the world is? Some say it's people. Some say it's social interaction. Some say it's money. That's the obvious answer. But I think when you boil it down, the root to all of those is effort. Putting in the effort. Put in enough effort, you'll make enough money. Put in enough effort in social skills, getting to listen to the person, making sure you actually care about what the person has to say. That's putting in effort. And that will build you strong relationships, which will help you out. That's the real currency. It's effort. The rest are extensions of the core. I've gained nothing from doing what others want me to do. The only times I felt any means of success was when I chased goals I actually wanted to achieve. I saw this recent video on TikTok. I know TikTok, blah, 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 but it was actually like not mind-opening, but such an interesting way of thinking about this topic of constructive criticism. And I wanted to share it with you. This was the quote. Why would I take constructive criticism from someone who hasn't built anything themselves? And then a separate one was, why would I take advice from my parents who aren't working on themselves? They say they want the best for me, but they don't even want the best for themselves. The first one was from some lady I don't remember, to be honest. And the second one was from Grant Cardone, a real estate agent. And a lot of people want to give you this advice. A lot of squares want to give other shapes advice because they want you to be on their team. Everybody wants you to be on their team. There's a reason why we have political parties, why everybody's so involved in watching sports, why we have schools with merchandise, why we have Nike, different brands, apparels. We attach our identity to these things. Families, ethnicities, whatever it is. Because we need to know who we are, and to know who we are, we attach ourselves to things that exist in the world. And so everybody wants you on their team, especially if you're someone that has some skills, some values. So they'll try to give you advice to get on their team. And if you're a harder shape to find, right? If you've struggled to give in to the normality and you're not okay with it, then you'll feel lost. Because you don't know where your community is. And so these other shapes are trying to give you advice. And you so badly want to connect that you convince yourself they're right. Do the thing even though you know you don't want to do it. And then just confirm that knowledge that you didn't want to do it in the first place and waste a bunch of time. And maybe they'll congratulate you, but even that still feels empty. So then what was the point in doing it in the first place? Just because you hung out with them for a couple hours. Sure, it's a little pessimistic. But the other viewpoint is to give in. Give in to what makes you you. And I don't want to do that either. So I'd rather be viewed as a pessimist than viewed as a pushover. I want to take risks, but it's also scary. I want to meet people. I want to potentially get, a relationship. But in order to do that, I have to go outside. But in order to achieve my goals, I have to stay inside and work for hours away from my friends. So how do I balance both? Is there a balance, or is there going to be a constant struggle until I find someone? I was never in a rush in high school to find someone. I decided to just focus on my goals, and then maybe someone would walk into my life. But I spent 4 years working and nothing happened. I want to continue to work on my goals, but I also don't want to let this opportunity of college slip and miss my chance of hanging out with some amazing people, having some amazing relationships, and developing relationships with someone, or developing a relationship with someone. I don't want to lose myself this opportunity because I'm so locked on my goals, but I also want to achieve my goals. So how do I balance that? I thought making it a goal would make it easier, but I'm still having a hard time fitting it in. Why do I gotta be so weird? Why can't I just be normal? I feel like these are thoughts that a lot of people have had, more than some would like to admit. But is normal just an illusion? And in reality, everybody's weird. And what is normal is that we all have differences. What's not normal is that we're all the same. Some just hide it more than others. Their quirks, what they enjoy. Being normal is being suppressed. Being normal is stripping away what makes you you, painting yourself one color, and getting lost in the crowd of other people. Nobody wants to hang out with normal. But it takes a lot of work to be unique. And you're not going to be liked by everyone. You're not going to be able to hang out with everyone. And for the longest time, I just wanted to hang out with the most people. That was kind of my personality. I was friendly with everybody, got to know everybody, cared about everybody. But you can't do that. You can't build lasting relationships on that. Because our differences can be so different that a relationship will be hard. I can still be friendly, I can still be curious, I can still be interested, but to hang out with them on the regular is going to be hard. Because my goals are so separate, or so far apart from theirs. Some of them don't even have goals. They just exist in the world. And I don't have any hate towards them. But I can't spend a lot of time with them. Because they'll rub off on me, and I'll lose what makes me me. And I'll also be spending less time working towards what I want to achieve. And so, full circle back to the school thing. I think it's more of a societal issue rather than a school issue. And I think we blame school so much for not doing everything because we'd rather kick the can down the road than look in the mirror and realize that, oh, we're just scared. It's a fear thing. It's not a school thing. We're scared because we realize that maybe school doesn't give us everything we need, and we need to find it somewhere else. And that somewhere else is not as developed, is not as institutionalized, as accepted. And to go down that path is scary because there's less people down that path. So do I jump off this train for the potential adventure, or do I just stay on it because I know where this one's going? I don't know where that one's going. That one's not as linear. Is the idea of linearity a lie? If I really want to get down to it, get kind of nerdy, I mean, this is what they teach you in school, might as well, let's go for it. When you learn math, when you learn education, when you learn basic math, they teach you slope form first, right? And they teach you linearity. But then you eventually learn that most things, if not all things, are not linear, actually. Most relationships are curved, are quadratic. And so maybe the idea of linearity is a lie. It's a simplified version, making you trying to believe that, oh, this path will bring me to this, and then will be that and that and that. But really, it's more of a splatter of paint on the wall, spray of dots. And you're more of like a ping pong ball going back and forth, bouncing back and forth. But moving forward, hopefully. I think the idea of certainty is also a lie. The idea that we'll have a moment or we'll feel secure. I think if you're truly chasing something, you'll never know until you achieve it. And then after that, it's just the next goal and the next goal and the next goal and the next goal. You only gain the certainty after you've achieved the goal. And then after that, you just want to go and hit another goal. So it's only a split second of certainty and then long, long periods of uncertainty. And that's the only thing that's certain, I guess. So that's what I should focus. I've said a lot of things in this podcast, and I want to end it on a note that wraps them all up. When I think about school, when I think about how all of this connects, I'm glad that I'm in school. I'm not going to say all of this and then drop out. I think school still has a lot for me that I haven't done yet. Whether it's relationships, connections, developmentally, mindset, how I've shifted, changed, and developed in these past couple months has been very interesting to observe and also experience at the same time. And I don't want to miss out on further development from dropping out. I also enjoy it. But at the same token, I need to just spend the rest of this year doing what I said I was going to do. And then finding out afterwards whether it was worth it or not. Because I don't think I've given myself enough time of pure focus locked in on my goals to really know if it is. I've always talked about it, always said it, but I've never actually finished it. And I need to finish it. And then if it's not worth it, I've got the rest of my life to have a good time. Like, what? But if it is, if it felt great, if it is really what everybody says it is on the internet, then I'll know. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I put a little bit more effort into this one. I hope you guys recognize that. I had a fun one with this one. I did little arts and crafts, obviously, with the U and the school. Let me know if you liked it. Let me know if it was too abstract, if I was talking a bunch of nonsense, if it didn't make sense, if it was, the dots weren't connecting. But this is what I felt for the past week. This is what it's been going on for the past week. And I wanted to talk about it, wanted to address it. Thought it was an interesting idea. Alright, thank you for listening, watching, subscribing. Please like this video, and I guess I'll see you next Sunday.